Ooh, FAA expanded its list of facilities facing staffing shortage. And yes, Nashville's a part of it. Double check if you think you're going somewhere today and tomorrow, because there may not be anybody manning the towers. Saw Burbank yesterday, because of the government shutdown, closed their airport. Burbank is a decent-sized airport. It's a very popular airport in Southern California, right outside. So you got LAX, obviously big, a nightmare. Long Beach, tiny, very cool. If you ever have a chance and you have to fly into LA and you can fly into Long Beach, do it. They let you off on the tarmac. So cool. But Burbank's a decent-sized airport. They shut it down. They had nobody there when it came to being able to work the tower. So there was no air traffic controllers. So this is going to have a ripple effect. And one of the things that they've talked about, and we've talked about here, is there's domino effect. Because your plane, we may have everything ready to roll, but your plane may be coming from Dallas-Fort Worth or Atlanta, and they don't have enough. They're going to have to shut it down. So this is the first time, I think, in this shutdown where people who aren't directly involved with the government are going to feel something. And so we'll see what happens. Earlier, we were talking about the sending troops in anywhere to fight crime, which is, I just know. We have a constitution. That's not what we do. Those cities need to figure out how to take care of that stuff. It's one thing if, you can make an argument somewhat if you want to have some patrol portions of facilities that are federal, especially, some of these ICE facilities. But outside of that, no, that's not what we do. And earlier today on my show, I had my buddy Mike Lyons on. He's a military analyst. He was a retired major in the Army and West Point grad. Like, this guy's military through and through. And we got on the topic of this very subject. You've got the National Guard, and then you're hearing stories about we're going to send the airborne, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
The reality is, as we were just talking about, the military is you're a combatant, you're not a suspect. I am not a big fan. I like the Constitution, love the Constitution, not a big fan of our military, whether it's the National Guard or any other part of it, on the streets of our country trying to police in any way, shape, or form.
Totally agree with that. I think that the president, unfortunately, uses words that are not helpful when he says things like, we're going to send the 82nd to Portland, Oregon. It's not happening. Active duty troops in one level. When he mobilizes the Guard for right now, he can do it under this guise of protecting ICE, who clearly get over their heads at times when you look at the videos and see what's going on and specifically how they're being attacked. But they have to be, in this reserve mode where they're not trained in order to be basically policemen and to go after U.S. citizens. That's not a good look. I think that from a political perspective, that side is trying to goad the Guard into doing that and the ICE agents into doing that. It's not a good look. I think this is about the election next year and trying to show that Trump is a fascist and trying to create a dictatorship when he's just trying to look for law and order. I think most people now are saying, well, then forget it. You don't want no help? Then burn to the ground. Who cares if Chicago burns to the ground? Who cares if Portland burns to the ground? It's not worth the political capital he's going to use in order to try to fix what's clearly a problem.
And the problem is, when it comes to crime, that's a Chicago thing. That is. If they call, and again, that's a military guy, through and through. Through and through. Like, the most connected. You see him on everything from Fox to CBS to CNN all the time. That's who people go to when it comes to a lot of this stuff. And that is not something that we need to fight crime. If they call and they say, we need your help. One of the things I heard earlier, they're talking about 1992 in the riots. Well, the governor called and said, we need help. And requested, and they got it. But it was weird, man. I worked the riots in 92. My mother had a huge glazing company, and we were out, glass company. We're out boarding up all of these huge commercial things. And it was bizarre to see the military wandering the streets. It's one thing to see them drive by because they're delivering, something somewhere, or, there's a row of them because they're going from one base to another. They weren't. They were parked because of what might happen. That was days, though. They didn't order it right away. That was days. And nothing has come close to what L.A. was in that insanity. So, yeah, the thought of bringing the military in and any, I'm going to do it. First of all, it's not a good look. And I think he's right, too. They want to goad people into doing stuff that's stupid to say, look, he's exactly what you said he was. And you're just not trained for it. And somebody earlier texted and said, well, yeah, you don't know about the MPs. They're not sending 400 MPs to, wherever, Chicago or Oregon. They're not. And it's about the Constitution, which is a very important thing. At least I think so. But, this is the way I've learned in this business. The Constitution's only important until it gets in your way and you want to make a point. Then it's not as important for some people. Me, I think it's pretty damn important. And yes, D.C. was different. Way different. Could you make an argument when it comes to maybe adding some layers of protection in certain places for ICE? Yeah, you could make that argument. But as far as fighting the crime side of things or being out there, no. And so I'm on, my other show's on, and was talking to my buddy who's out in Portland. He's got a show out there. And I said, so you guys burned down yet? And he's like, no. He goes, it's like a half a block. He goes, now remember, the summer of love, Portland was a hot mess. It was a disaster. And they allowed that to go on, just like they allowed the CHOP to go on. Remember the CHOP in Seattle? Do you guys remember the CHOP? That's where they allowed like 2 blocks to become its own autonomous area, which was ridiculous. So it's nothing like that now. And yeah, and I watched some of this stuff even yesterday. I watched, and this is just me, it makes me think. I see the which is everything that, because this is as much about making sure the PR is good or bad, depending on what side of the aisle you're on. Because the certain influencers, they're there to show, here comes the Gestapo, as they like to call them, right? The stormtroopers, the SS Waffen, here they come. And on the other side, embedded with them, if you would say that, are a bunch of guys who are wearing T-shirts and carrying those, selfie sticks, following them around in the midst of all of this stuff, because they're also trying to get good stuff so they can put it all over the DHS website and stuff. So a lot of it is a bit theatrics. People always ask me, well, you don't like, no, it's not that I don't like Trump. You know what I care about most? Americans. You, me. That's it. That's the most important thing. I care about the success of us and this amazing experiment that we have, if we can hold on to it. Those are the only things that should matter. And I care about the Constitution. Those things absolutely are important. And we should be making sure that, because more and more, we have seen both sides of the aisle cede more of their responsibility to executive orders. They have moved away from being 3 co-equal branches. Everything's become politicized, and nothing gets done. I mean, we're talking about the stupid government shutdown. We only talk about it for a little bit because it's ridiculous. But the only way they're coming back is if it hurts them in the polls. Not because it's good for America, not because it's good for Ken or Belle or RJ or me or you or Sandra right out there or Jason who lives with us or Ray or Ron or any of you guys out there. Not if it's good for us, but is it good for them? Or is it going to hurt them next year? That's what frustrates me in this. I want us to be successful. This is about us, right? This great experiment. And we entrust these people to do the right thing. But we also say, in doing the right thing, we have a constitution, and this is what you follow. So we'll see. We'll see. And you know, a lot of this, too, is also, for lack of a better term, it's a pissing match between Trump and the blue cities and the blue states, Oregon and, you know, Chicago and Pritzker. They love all this stuff. They live for this stuff because it's also raising their profiles we talked about last hour. Absolutely raising their profile. Meanwhile, 2 years ago today, many of us woke up and the Middle East had changed big time. Big time. I don't know if people thought that we'd still be here. All those, 24 months. I think a lot of people thought it would go. They would fight for a little while. They would come to some sort of uneasy truce. They would get some of their hostages back, and that would be that. But that is not what has happened.
On October the 7th, 2023 in the morning, Hamas militants stormed this site. It was the Nova Music Festival. There were thousands of young people enjoying the music, enjoying the area. They opened fire, spreading panic and terror amongst the crowd. By the time the attack was finished, 378 were dead, many taken hostage, 10 of whom are believed to be amongst the 20 alive today in Gaza. So people have been gathering, remembering the fallen, thinking of the hostages, and praying for peace.
So if all goes well, and again, it's a big if on all sides, the hostages could start to come back this week, remains and the living. The big thing is going to be, when does Hamas lay down their weapons? And will Israel actually get out of certain areas? Because you've got people inside of the party, the Likud party, which is Gavirian and Smotrich. Smotrich is like, he is there. Those two guys are so powerful. They have already said, we will not leave. We will not abandon. It's already flattened. Basically, it's ours. So, and they don't want any part of Trump's 20-point plan. They want no part of it. Partly because, Trump and his plan is, nothing else has worked. Ever. Realistically, nothing else has worked. And his 20-point plan, it's got a lot of points. And there's a lot of moving parts. But as he said over the weekend, he told Bibi, dude, you're always so blank and unhappy. Take the win. But it's not always just about him. 67% of the Israeli population wants this over with. That's pretty big. They're tired. They're having more issues getting reservists. They're drawing on reservists from around the globe because more and more of them are choosing to go to jail over there rather than go and fight because they think this is a bridge too far at this point in time. We're losing support around the globe. Plus, at what point are we? We don't feel like we don't feel like we're fighting to get back our hostages. We feel like we're doing the work of this party. So it will be interesting to see if by the end of the week they can come to something. And by the weekend, maybe you start to see hostages go one way, remains of hostages and the people kidnapped coming. I hope so. But it's the Middle East, and everything is fragile in the Middle East. All right, coming up, it is Hot Take Tuesday. Ken's got a hot take that has now got me thinking about stuff, which is bizarre. I've got a hot take. Guess who else has a hot take? Bell and RJ have hot takes as well. You can as well. Shoot us your hot take. Plus, tomorrow is One Hit Wonder Wednesday. So, start getting your One Hit Wonder in now for One Hit Wonder.
Already got mine.
You do?
Yep.
All right. Ken's already got his. So, start getting your One Hit Wonders in right now if you want to hear something. One Hit Wonder Wednesday again tomorrow. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997. Hot Take Tuesday. This is where we give you the hot takes in our world. We want to hear from you and yours. This has nothing to do with politics, okay? So we always say nothing to do with politics. These hot takes have all to do with just everyday life stuff. My hot take today was McDonald's French fries are the greatest fries on the planet, made with angel tears and a promise to something that I don't know. But they're amazing, especially when they're right out of the little fryer. And then they got the salt. The guy's all... It's just incredible. That's my hot take. Ken, your hot take is?
Loud chewing. The unofficial way to say, I believe personal space is a myth, and everyone should hear my snack symphony.
Goodness me. Now it's I am thinking about all of the annoyance of the chewing and the gum. And I was thinking about gum earlier when you talk about like the popping of the gum. Those people that they snap it.
Yeah.
Because they can't really blow a bubble.
Yeah.
Oh! And what's it called again? There's an actual like
misophonia.
Misophonia. So if that's you guys out there, let us know. Bell K, everybody.
Working from home sucks. And I know that opinion is in the minority because I've seen enough surveys and research to know most people enjoy working from home, but I think it sucks.
I understand. I do. Especially if you don't get out a lot. But when I was just doing nothing but voiceovers, oh, my Lord. Man, if I saw anybody, hey, what are you doing? What's going on? I haven't talked to anybody about myself all day. What's going on? But yeah, it can be draining. All right, RJ, what you got for us? Don't suck.
Well, I was talking about your coffee order, and I was saying if your coffee order is 4 words or more, you're ordering a milkshake, buddy.
Yeah. And that and the more that you talk when it comes to ordering your coffee, the more it's going to cost you.
And don't smack.
Don't smack. You know what else? What if those people that they continue to do that thing with, trying to get every last bit.
Oh, I love doing that.
Do you?
Especially if there's whipped cream at the
I
bottom.
think that's just slurping with extra steps.
Oh, my goodness me. That is the slurping thing. Several people were talking earlier about in Japan, slurping is part of the culture with the soup. So it's, if that bugs you. And I said, you never put the card in your back pocket. Somebody said you also don't receive their business card. You hold out 2 hands to receive their business card. I don't know how big their card is. It's going to be a big card. So
size of a birthday card.
One of those old, giant, huge cards you get at 7-Eleven. I forgot about Valentine's Day, but I thought of this at 7-Eleven. I'm telling you, man, the smacking of food now, it is, and the gum, man, I hear the gum too.
You remember that terrible movie, Avatar?
Yes.
Remember it was like 3.5 hours long?
Yeah.
I sat next to a person who had a big, giant tub of popcorn.
Oh.
I don't know how I did that. I didn't say a word.
You didn't?
I didn't say a word.
Was there space to move?
No.
Oh.
Everybody was packed in. Because
it was
everybody
Avatar.
wanted to see that movie.
Because it was Avatar.
Because it was Avatar. Got out of there, and I had a bunch of popcorn kernels on my left shoulder from where they were.
Oh, God.
I'm telling you, I thought I was going to lose my mind.
And you probably couldn't concentrate the whole movie. That's probably why you hated Avatar.
Yeah, it stunk.
And the guy was wearing a T-shirt that said "Wiener dogs suck."
Oh, that's the worst. Wiener dogs. The chewing out loud now is going to bug me. And we said it earlier, too. Chips. Because chips are designed to be, I mean, even the commercials. And in your own head, it's probably way louder. But I am so self-conscious when I eat chips now that I don't even know if I can do it here anymore. Even
But the crunchier the chip is, the better it is.
Yes. But then if it annoys everybody, which you don't want, kids.
If it's annoying people, my first question is going to be, what the hell are you doing in my place?
Yeah. But I do like a chip.
You can't eat just one.
No, you can't. Pringles, right? They're designed to... And cereal gets that way on the first bite or two. But then after that, it goes suck.
Yeah. It's hard to hear cereal after that, unless you're going...
But with chips, man, they're meant to be loud. And in your head, they're twice as loud. Now I'm super self-conscious because I always have a little bag of chips every day. I come in and I sit next to Belle, and now I'm going to feel weird. Even though I chew with my mouth closed, it doesn't matter because in my brain, I can hear it. Coming up, got some of your text messages. 1-800 Wednesday is tomorrow, plus White Girl. Boy, do I got some White Girls for you. Yes.
The girl that went to Brown?
She's there, Kylie. She's always there. Always there. Always ready to lecture. You guys better get your homework ready. But we got some other good White Girl stuff as well. A lot of good stuff still to get to. If you're missing the show, shame on you. Grab the podcast. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997. Trump is considering bailing out the farmers. Yeah, bit of a hot mess the farmers are in. Why is that? Because I think he thought China would blink. They haven't really blinked. Then we went and bailed out Argentina.
Trump's illegal tariffs have single-handedly destroyed the U.S. soybean market. As of yesterday, the price of soybeans is about $9.34 here in Iowa. The cost of production is anywhere from $11 to $11.50. So per bushel of soybeans, it's about a $2 loss. And when you add the fact that it's about 50 bushels in an acre of soybeans here, you can do the math to see how bad things are.
So Trump bailed out Argentina, which, why? Well, he didn't bail out Argentina because, he gave him $20 billion. Gave him a line of credits. Here's $20 billion to save Malay's butt. What's the first thing they did? They took off their tariffs and then sold a gazillion soybeans to China. So now we're in a situation where we're going to have to bail out the farmers. And I've heard from several of you here. Some of you say, the farmers, you get what you get. Others of you are saying, look, we didn't ask for this. And we'd rather not have a bailout. But we also don't want to be in a situation where we're kind of hamstrung because of the tariffs. And I understand why people are frustrated over this. I wouldn't have bailed out Argentina. But my friends didn't go and pour tons of money into Argentina either, which is also a big part of this. If you guys don't know, Scott Benson and a lot of his friends went down there and threw a bunch of money into Argentina because they thought this was going to be a huge free market, was going to open up. And they got in over their skis, and there were some issues. And so this is going to steady a little bit of that. But I would be pissed if I was farmers as well. Because there's nothing you can do. You're not setting this. And I think they really thought that China was going to blink by now. And they haven't. Not yet. And this is going to be an interesting situation in the coming weeks and months. If we go and bail them out, what happens? This isn't going to be for everything. And with all the other stuff going on, those tariff things are still sitting out there. And the Supreme Court is going to be hearing cases. Today, what was the case today? It was at the conversion therapy case today they heard, Ken, am I right?
Yeah, conversion therapy case for Colorado. It was a ban on conversion therapy in Colorado. A Christian therapist claims it's a violation of her free speech, but Colorado defends it as saying it's harmful. And so the Supreme Court appears split on the conversion therapy for gay kids.
Yeah. So
they'll rule in June.
And you can tell how they ask questions, which way they're going to kind of go. And today was a little bit more, kind of muddied in this. It's like it wasn't as cut and dry as we know. Like, because last year or earlier this year when they were talking about, what was it, the transgender, our case here, you could tell the way they were asking questions and that they were going to rule in favor of Tennessee. And you can tell here, they're not quite sure because it has to do with free speech as much as it has to do with other things. So this will be interesting. But 5 or 6 of the cases are going to be Trump cases. And one of those is going to be, the power of the purse is normally with Congress. Did he have the right to put on tariffs? And most of you are telling me, first of all, you don't care about farmers. They've been big farmers for decades. You don't care if they go sideways. That's their own fault. I'm neither here nor there on that. But I don't want to bail out Argentina that's got themselves in a hot mess when we've got issues here. I think that's the bigger issue for me. especially if your buddies went and rolled the dice down there and things didn't go as well as they thought it was going to go. I can't believe it. I got to be honest with you. I'm surprised Milei has lasted as long as he has. Mostly because that country, which should be an economic powerhouse, has a tendency to switch jockeys very, very fast. It's one of those things where you win on a Tuesday and by Wednesday morning, they already want you gone. Like, that's how fickle they are. So I was surprised that he's lasted as long, but they've got serious issues in Argentina. And I don't know if $20 billion is going to fix it. I wonder if did we run their credit? How does this work? We got a line of credit there. How does this work? Do we get to take some Argentinians? We're all right. We're going to take this, and this. So we'll see. But bailing out, it's another bailout. Again, it's another bailout. And, the America First thing, I'm a big believer in America First. And I've always been that way. And you know what? If you go back, I was always against, like, the war in Iraq. I wanted no part of any of that. That didn't do us any good. I feel we were being dragged into stuff based on, it was not about America First. It was about, crony capitalism and this lunacy that you see that, did Saddam want Bush's dad killed, want to kill? I mean, there was all this stuff, but we should never have been there. There was no weapons of mass destruction. And if there were, we had the receipts for them, so we shouldn't have acted surprised. We had no right to go in there and do that. That was a waste of time. And that was a waste of trillions of dollars. We've got to start thinking about ourselves in ways that are right. It's the old, when the plane has a decompression issue and the little dealy bobbers fall out, which, by the way, if you've never been on a plane and it happens, it is shocking at first. They don't tell you, make sure everybody else has their on before you. No, you put yours on and see if you can help. That's kind of the way that goes, as it should be. So just putting that out there, that we need to focus on our stuff. Doesn't mean we don't help, but we got to get our house in order. I think most of you would agree with that. Most of you would. A lot of you guys texting in about, we were talking about earlier about the using the military and whether or not we should be. You got to separate. Some of you said, here's this. We can use the military in this case. Federal is not local. Local and federal are two separate things. So you've got to separate that. We shouldn't be using the military to fight crime. Could you make an argument, as I said, for protecting some ICE facilities? Yes. But even at that point in time, it's the facilities. It's not the ICE people themselves. It's not. It is the facilities that you would be protecting. You're not going to send them out there to back them up as if you're going to throw down if they're doing, whatever it is they're doing. And so there's a lot that goes into this, but it's about the Constitution. And we shouldn't be deploying the military when it comes to crime side of stuff. And people say, well, people have their rights to survive too. Again, Obama said it best. Voting has consequences. If you continue to vote in, right, the idiot Johnson in Chicago or the Lori Lightfoots, that's a you thing. That's a you thing. And Republicans, I'll say this, in many places, you've abandoned trying to go in there and win anything. You said, we can't, right? They've got the black vote, or they've got this, or they've got the whatever. We're not even going to try. Well, then there you go. It is only when people are so ridiculously fed up that they decide they need to make a change that will happen. And federal is one thing. And you could make an argument, as Trump did in the summer of love, which wasn't very lovey, by the way, when they were going night after night to federal courthouse. There's a point where you put the guard and say, all right, it's a federal building, so you're not going to do this here. It's a federal building. So federal and local, separate things. And Democrats, I still point at this being your problem. You allowed how many people to come in here for 4 years? 12 million? Told them how to do it? Worked with the NGOs? It only became a problem when Governor Abbott decided, hey, you know what? If everybody wants these people, we'll send them off. Then it became a national story that grew. And I think most people, and for you guys listening out there, you guys want everybody gone. Throw them all out. Most people, right, the exhaustive majority, they want the bad people gone, and they don't really want to see how the sausage is made in some cases. They don't. And that's a lot of what's being focused on right now. Are they overdoing it? Did they do this? Did they need to rappel into a building? Did they need Black Hawk helicopters? Things of that nature. This is what you're going to see going forward. And the left is going to use it for every opportunity they can. But when it comes to, the polling numbers, this is still Trump's best numbers right now. It's not the economy. It's this. Because you allowed 4 years of unfettered access to our system and to our border. And that was ridiculous. That was absolutely ridiculous. And you have how many people over the years have said, even regular old, just run-of-the-mill classic liberals, the Bill Maher types, who said, why don't you allow ICE to go inside the jails and get somebody who's got an order to be removed because you want to be a hero to a fringe group of people? That's not going to win you elections. Keep allowing the fringe to run their mouth and be the people at the podium, and you're going to continue to lose elections over and over again because common sense, that wins. All right, coming up, Matt. I saw him walking by earlier. He had a bunch of stuff in his hands, all kinds of papers and stuff. He looked like the professor that was late. He'll join the program straight ahead. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997. We were having a far more entertaining conversation about, with a lot of crap going on.
Oh, I didn't say crap, though.
No, you didn't.
I shut that down. I had to shut that down.
What's up,
Chad.
brother? Look at you, sharp-dressed man. You said you were wearing this because you thought it was going to be cool.
Because I'm delicate. I'm a delicate
like a
flower. And the highs today were only getting into the mid-70s.
Oh, my God.
That concerns me.
Weather.
Oh, because I get very, I get chilly.
Do you? Are you
I
one
get
of those
chilly
people?
on occasion.
On occasion, unlike...
There was a time where I never got chilly. I was always hot. Always hot. Matt, do you want to turn the air down? Yes, I want to turn the air down. No matter what the air is on, I want to turn it down. Now, 52 years old, circulation going, getting a little chilly. Get a little brisk. Got to turn the air up.
Wow.
I don't know.
Ken and I have gone the exact opposite direction. We're like, man, is it hot in here? I know I can see my breath. I should probably wear shorts.
Shorts until December.
Not
right.
me. I'm losing circulation, I think.
My buddy, one of my best buds in the world, a couple months ago, he had a stroke. He's fine, but half his body feels no pain whatsoever. I mean, you could stab him, he says, and no hot or cold. No matter how hot, he could touch something that's 100 degrees and he feels 200 degrees. He says, I feel no pain, or minus 200, feel nothing.
Oh, that's like a whole body experience of when you come out of the dentist and they've numbed half your mouth.
That's what I asked him.
Right.
And he said, no, because the difference is I don't have that, the kind of thing where like Ken and I were talking last week because he had his teeth done. It wasn't one of those things where but he says I don't even know. I could have my arm behind me. You could stab me, and I wouldn't even be paying attention. One
of my favorite things to do after the dentist, if they have to do something where they numb half your mouth, right?
Yeah.
And not the droopy, but you go to like a Starbucks and get a coffee.
Try to drink something.
And try to drink it, and it's fine. You can drink it, but half your mouth feels, it's hot, and the other half's like, I don't feel anything.
By the way, you have something to talk about now. Not the country singer. Tonight, it looks like the airport's going to be shut here.
Our airport?
Yep. No air traffic control because the government shut down.
Huh.
So that's what they just said.
I thought those were essential employees.
They're calling in. They're essentially calling in.
Oh, so they've, we should fire them. Reagan
we don't
fired
have
them.
enough of them, so it'd be hard.
I mean, Reagan fired them,
then he told him to get back to work.
right?
So-
But he said you're going to be fired if you don't show up to work. And I don't think you can be held. So you're saying that, and this is news to me, so they're calling out in solidarity with
maybe, or
with
just,
what? What are you in solidarity
I
with?
don't think I just think they're thinking, well, you know what? We're not going to have enough staff, and I'm not going to be the only one there. Who knows why they're calling out? Maybe
we
it's-
got to find that out.
So, yeah, but they just
Gotta
said up
figure
there
all
on
that
the old CNN that looks like tonight the airport will be shut.
Nashville.
Huh. Nashville, baby.
We need to get on top
Ken,
of
you
that.
need to get on that.
Ken.
What?
What do we pay you the median bucks for?
What do you guys want? I'm in
Okay.
there doing news.
Okay, did you see that
Apparently
Nashville's going to be shut
Nashville's going to
tonight?
be shut down.
I have not seen that.
The
I
entire
know-
city.
I know that they are, along with Las Vegas, Houston, Newark, and Boston, having some air traffic control staffing problems.
Well, they just said will be reduced, issued delay, reduced flights due to nothing. And B&A to have overnight. No, looks like they're going to be. I think if you're coming here, you're going to be fine.
I got something here.
What's it say?
It says, as soon as it pulls up, FAA cuts flights due to air traffic controller shortage. Flights in and out of Nashville International Airport will be reduced at 2:30 p.m. That would be
20 minutes ago.
20 minutes ago. October 7, because of ongoing air traffic controller shortages that were potentially exacerbated by the federal government shutdown. Metro Nashville Airport Authority said the Federal Aviation Administration notified airport leadership of the cuts just over an hour before they were to take effect.
And
I'm seeing right here, it says, according to the FAA, the ground delay at BNA will last from 4 until right before midnight tonight.
wait.
So no flights?
I'm not seeing no flights.
But maybe if you are coming here, you can land, but maybe not taking off. I don't know.
BNA officials said in a statement this reduction will remain in effect until further notice. All airlines have been informed travelers should check the status of their flight with their airline before arriving at BNA. As a reminder, the Federal Aviation Administration has sole responsibility for the national airspace system.
Translation, if you're going somewhere tonight, you better double, triple check.
Are we not paying these guys enough? What is the deal? Why are we having so much trouble finding air traffic control? I know it's a very stressful job.
It's a stress. Well, and it's a weird thing where you have to be under 30, and the training takes a long time, and they only go, I think, to 50, if I'm correct. So it's not like they're staying out till 65 or 70. So there's a lot of issues with this, and plus a lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck.
Hey, if anybody needs a job,
they're hiring.
They're hiring.
They're hiring big time. But you
Now's
got to
the
be under
time.
30. Got to be under 30.
why under 30, I wonder?
Probably for maturity reasons, I would assume.
What, over 30 people are not mature enough?
No, they are from 30 to 50, but they don't want you at 45 trying to come
Right.
back.
They want you for a good length of time.
A
if they're
young,
gonna,
spry fellow.
if you're going to train. I guess so. I got Taylor Hicks coming up in the 3 o'clock hour. Absolute fabulous singer. He'll be in Franklin on the 17th, and then we'll talk Israel and some other things.
All right, sounds like fun.
Yeah.
A bunch of stuff happening. Matt, straight ahead. You guys have a good one. We'll do it tomorrow.